In Chapter 5, we're going to start looking at statistics. This chapter might be the most useful for the data analysis portion of your project. You're also going to learn how to use your fancy calculator that got sent home. So we're going to start by entering data into our lists. We're looking at the examples from the 5.3 worksheet. So in order to enter data into your lists, you hit the Stat button, and you can either press 1 to edit or hit Enter. We're going to enter our data into two different lists. So we're going to enter the Persian lifespans into the first list. This part you have to be careful with because, especially with bigger lists, it's very easy to make little mistakes as you're entering data. All right, we switch over to the second list and enter our data there. And we're going to make the calculator do all of the heavy lifting. The calculator is going to figure out mean, so the average basically, and we're going to get the calculator to figure out standard deviation, which is a measure of how spread out our data is. And I've already noticed that I've made a mistake in data entry, so I'll fix that. So yeah, we'll figure out standard deviation, so how spread out data is. Usually you want a low standard deviation. You want as many data points as possible right on the mean, especially if you're producing things, or sometimes it's really good to have test scores really close to the mean. That means everyone is on the same page. So we have our two lists. And now we're going to go back to our main screen, like the home screen, by pressing second mode. So by second, we're doing the stuff in blue, so we're quitting to the main screen. Now to make the calculator do the work, we go second, stat, we move over to the math section. And we can have it do all sorts of things to our list, right? We can find the minimum, the maximum, the mean, median, sum, product, standard deviation, and other things. Right now, we're just going to worry about the mean. So we can either scroll down to the 3 and hit enter, or just press the 3 button. And we want to find the mean of list 1. So to do that, we press second 1, right? Because there's the little L1 in blue. Color may vary on your own calculator. Close the brackets, and we hit enter. So the mean, which we designate with an X bar, is equal to 14.3. Excuse my drawing, I'm using a mouse and not my board. So let's find the standard deviation of list 1. So second, stat, move over to math. We go down to standard deviation, which is 7. And second, 1. Close the brackets, hit enter. And standard deviation is denoted with the Greek letter sigma. So the standard deviation for this list is 1.89. All right, so let's do the same thing for the second list. So second, stat, go over to math, find the mean first. So we go second 2 to get list 2. We hit enter. So X bar, so our mean is equal to 14.6. So on average, the Burmese lives just a smidgen longer than the Persians, but it's not a big enough difference for it to matter. So let's look at the standard deviation. So second, stat, math, go down to standard deviation. Again, we pick list 2 by going second, L2, close bracket, enter. So sigma, standard deviation, is 2.41. So the data for the Burmese is spread out more than the one for the Persian cats. So the Persian cats have a much more consistent lifespan. The Burmese cats have a slightly longer lifespan.